Volodymyr Zelenskyy is in Brussels with leaders of the EU's 27 member states at their special summit on the situation in Ukraine. Before the discussions, the prime ministers, presidents and bloc's most senior representatives warmly welcomed the Ukrainian president on his second trip outside his country since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. Before the summit, Mr. Zelenskyy addressed the European Parliament.
Ukrainian European way of life намагаються знищити.
The Russians are trying to destroy the Ukrainian and European way of life with total war. But for what? To destroy the Ukrainian and European way of life? We'll not allow this. For each of all 27 elements of the European way of life, 27 countries of the European Union, this total war, which Russia has unleashed, is not only for territory in one or another part of Europe. Its threat lies only in the fact that there's a dictator with a massive stockpile of Soviet weapons and supporting weapons from other dictatorships, in particular from the Iranian regime. To be able to wage this war, the Kremlin absolutely, cynically, consistently, step by step, year by year, destroy what we see as the basis of our Europe with you.
Over to our Brussels correspondent, Jack Parrick. Jack, what stood out for you in that speech by the Ukrainian president?
Well, it was an impassioned speech in the European Parliament. It went down extremely well. There was huge cheers, actually, even as he was walking into the hemicycle of the European Parliament. But that was expected. I think the members of the European Parliament, we knew that they would respond to him in that way. But what's happened since is that he's moved here to the European Council, where on the same day, the 27 leaders of the European Union are meeting. And he gave a joint press conference with Ursula von der Leyen and with Charles Michel, the European Council President, and she being the European Commission President, demanding that actually talks for Ukraine's membership of the European Union begin before the end of this year. President Zelenskyy being here is very symbolic, but also he wanted action during this visit.
What about what Ukraine needs in this war against Russia? What about the sticking point of fighter jets?
Well, this has been the big talking point, especially over the last couple of weeks. Since European partners allowed Leopard 2 and other tanks to be exported or re-exported into Ukraine, the Germans had a block on re-exportation of tanks that were made in Germany. They have now released that. Ever since that's been opened, the discussion and the pressure from Kyiv, the government, is asking for fighter jets. Now, Zelenskyy comes here off the back of a visit to the United Kingdom, where the Brits said that they would accept, that they would train fighter pilots, but what they need as well is those fighter jets. Obviously, that door having been opened with the tanks is one thing, but there is reluctance in the big EU capitals, specifically France and Germany, in Berlin and Paris, to sending more fighter jets over a number of concerns. Firstly, what that will mean, the escalation of the war, but also what it means for their own domestic national security.
Let's have a listen to the message the European Commission President had. I want to ask you about that in a second.
We all heard the urgency of your call to support Ukraine now. You spoke in a very moving manner about and praising the European way of life. And you added that Ukrainians want to come home to this European way of life. And indeed, today, you see we are one family, we have one vision, and family members help each other. You can count on us. We will continue to provide our full support now to sustain your people through this atrocious war and for the future.
So all the right signals being sent there when we look at what Ukraine needs, but can Kyiv rely on Brussels for what it does actually need at the end of the day when it comes to munitions and weapons?
Well, what the European Union would say is yes. They say that they're providing lots and lots of money, that the process for Ukraine to join the European Union is underway and moving quicker than possible. But the decision on the weapons is down with the individual member states of the European Union. As I was saying, France and Germany being probably the biggest players in that. What was interesting is that Ursula von der Leyen announced that they will put now forward a 10th round of sanctions, that they will sanction senior political and military leadership, that they will also look at other exports to try and hit the Russian economy further, to try and twist the arm of Vladimir Putin to bring the invasion to an end. But so far, the 9 rounds of sanctions that have been imposed haven't worked. I think what's interesting is this process into EU accession, and the symbolism of this meeting is really, really important, Zelensky's visit here, because Ukraine isn't only fighting to become independent of Russia. The vision of the Ukrainian government and the Ukrainian authority is not just a turn away from the Kremlin, but a turn towards Brussels, a turn towards the European Union. They want to be a member of this club.
So, Jack, what else can we expect from today's summit?
Well, an interesting thing, Ben, is this February summit that we're in right now was meant to be all about the European Union sorting out its migration, working out how it can deal with additional flows of migrants coming in across the Mediterranean and through the Western Balkan routes. Zelensky's visit has really hard thrown it in a different direction, but the leaders are resuming their meetings as we speak, and will be talking about that very thorny internal EU issue of migration.